In this tutorial, we're going to see how to develop your own gradients. We have two different ways. One is to develop a known gradient through an image, and the second one would be to be understanding the gradients mechanic and working with it. So the first one would be to be working with already an existent gradient. So I'll just grab one, and we can see on the menu we can just go and say work on gradient, and here we can get a gradient line, and in this gradient line you can see we have a few knots and we can be working on them. We can change the colors. I could just go to the knot colors and I could grab an extra color, and I could go to the next one. I could change that one as well. And you can see that the first color is the one on position 0% and the last color is on position 100%. And we can see as well that we can work on the opacity of this color. So the last color has opacity 28%. So if I would like to have it as a full color, I would need to go to 100% in there. And the other colors I would like to have really covering as well. So I don't really want to have anything with transparency in this case. And having this selected and saying, well, I would like to be working with this gradient now, I could just confirm it and I could just test it now on my screen. If I would like to have it linear, it's the right way to have it right now. If I would like to have it circular, you can see that the middle of the circle goes there where I click on. And I would like to have it linear. And if I like this gradient, I could just save it. So I would go to the menu and I would say save gradient. I can give a name for it. Quite cheesy. And like this, I have now my new gradient down here on the list, and I could just go to the gradient I had before, like the first, and we can see we did not lose it. Okay, so it's saved, it's in here, and you can just select it again if you would like and use it again. Okay, so nothing gets lost. You can develop as many gradients as you want. I'll just grab another gradient again and I'll work on it. We can see here that we can move the gradients around. We can move the knots around, and we could as well, by clicking on the gradient line, open a new knot and change the color. The color can be changed here or up here, it makes no difference. And you can see as well that you could have a mixing method going on. So we can use the RGB method, or we can just go through the entire color wheel, changing from one color to the next one, going to clockwise or unclockwise. Okay, so this is an option as well if you're interested in doing it like that. Another possibility would be not to be doing this in a linear way, or you can make it shorter or wider depending on what you give up here. Okay, so it's another option for it to be changing in your gradient. So I'm just confirming this, selecting all, deleting, and trying now my new gradient. And you have this option, which I think it's the one that makes more sense. Or you would be able as well to be doing your own gradient by using an extra new file, so Command N. I would go here shorter, and I would like to have it very thin, so it could be even thinner. I'm going to reduce this a little bit more. I don't want it to be too large, so just grab a very thin type of file, and I would just use airbrush. You can see that I'm always working with a 2015 version from Painter Tools because I really like this old version of it. Depending on what we are doing, this is quite interesting because it selected a little bit more the variants. The new category is combining too many different categories. I don't like it that much. And I'm just going to say I'd like to have digital airbrush soft, and I'm picking up a color here, and I would like you guys to understand something. I just brought up some color into here, and I'm going to do extra the mistake of not bringing the same color into this end so that you understand what's going to happen. I'm holding the shift key so that I have a straight line, and I'm going to leave this part white so that you're going to see what happens if I really work like this. I'm going to have a very sharp line going on. I would always get a very smooth type of tool that does not leave too many lines, and I would avoid doing angles in here. So try to really make it very short and in straight angles, the lines. In this case, I'm selecting it all by pressing Command A, and we can see here that I can save gradient, and I'm opening a new file, now a bigger one for us to be testing this. And now I can just grab my gradient that is painted, and you can see, like in this case, the tool is giving us a little bit of a very vivid type of line. I'd like to reduce the size of it. And here we can see that it's not really working so nicely because we have a very straight line up here. And for us not to have this very straight line, it would be important for us to, going back to the tool we had before, to add some of the red color on the end of it. So I'm selecting it all by pressing Command A. I'm saving the file again with the number 2. And now I'm trying this out in the other file. So I'm just going to select all and delete it. I'm selecting the filling tool and I'm trying this out. And now we can see that this straight line that was bothering us at the beginning of it does not exist anymore. Okay, here we can change the angle as well so that we have something in the horizontal or on the vertical, depending on what you would like to have. And like this, you can, oh, this is with a lot of transparency. This is not really the type of brush I would like to be using, but you can use it as well if you would like to paint on top of it. Okay, so this is a possibility to be developing images or gradients with images, and you can see though that at the moment I would like to change or work on this gradient, you cannot do it. It's like a blocked gradient. It's part of an image, so it stays really like that. You cannot change anything. Okay, if you'd like to change a gradient, I would just grab some gradient that already exists in Painter and then change the knots of it. Okay, we're going to see a few ways to be using gradients on the next tutorial. Talk to you then. Bye bye.